Hello, my name is Michael O'Keefe, aka The Movie List. If you enjoy this interview and want to hear more top-notch film industry conversations, please press the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell to stay in the know. Hello, Ivan Grbovic. Give my audience a synopsis of the plot of Drunken Birds.
He's about a character called Willie who's looking for his long-lost love. It's about a kind of a man looking for his long-lost love and goes to Quebec as a seasonal worker to find her, basically.
And he's Colombian.
No, he's Mexican.
Oh, he's Mexican. Damn it. Okay. All right. Perfect. And could you explain the title of the movie?
Drunken Birds. What is Drunken Birds? It's basically, I don't know, it's just kind of a metaphor for just kind of all my characters are kind of flying high, but they're flying high aimlessly, basically. Kind of don't quite know where they're going.
Interesting. It's funny because there was a Colombian movie a few years ago called Birds of Passage, and I was just wondering if that was like a
it's not part two.
It's not part two. No, it's not part two. I was wondering if there's some sort of connection, like in Mexico or a little bit down south, Southern America.
No, not at all. No. It's just.
It just sounds cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how much experience did your actors have coming into this?
I mean, tons. I mean, enough. I think Jorge Guerrero Antonio is obviously a seasoned actor from Mexico. He was in Roma.
Wow.
And the whole cast of Quebec actors is just fairly well known. Claude Legault is like one of the most famous actors in Quebec. Hélène Florent as well, and the young Marine Johnson. She has tons of kind of movies under her belt, so it's quite a kind of a seasoned ensemble cast.
So you were happy with the cast?
Yeah, definitely.
You worked well with them. You had no issues.
No, not at all. No kind of no dirt to kind of to dig up. No.
Good to know. Great. How long was the shoot, and was it generally pleasant?
Yeah, it was super fun. Kind of dream shoot. Yeah, my producers are Luc Guéry and Kim McGraw. So they're kind of these legendary producers in Canada, and they gave me a beautiful playground to play with. I think it was 36 days. Shot 35 mil. I did everything I wanted to do. No regrets. So yeah, so it was a perfect shoot.
It is a very pretty movie to look at. I saw it at Cinema 12 at the Scotiabank Theater yesterday on that big IMAX screen, and boy, it looked great. Those shots in Quebec were really nice.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, it sounds idyllic. The cast, the producers, everybody's your pal. But what was the biggest challenge you faced making this movie?
Just kind of the biggest challenge was, I don't know, to be honest. It was obviously COVID came and kind of changed things up a bit. So we were supposed to go to China to shoot a Chinese sequence, and finally, as you all know, kind of you couldn't. At one point, we can go to China, so we had to kind of be a bit more creative and shoot that sequence in Canada. Otherwise, it's just kind of keeping a very kind of a narrative, a very complicated narrative from becoming incomprehensible. So just kind of trying to keep the balance and the flow and yeah. So that was a bit of a challenge.
So at what point did COVID come into this production?
Just as we were about to kind of we had shot maybe 35 days, and then the last day was kind of supposed to be this week in China. So yeah. So basically, like 2 days before leaving or a week before leaving, it was like the world shut down. So
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's kind of. I feel bad for the person who's preparing the project in China, but yeah, so is life.
Yes. So, what movies are comparable to Drunken Birds?
I feel there's obviously some influences are Days of Heaven.
Oh yeah,
kind of 78. Kind of, we shot mostly Magic Hour, so that was obviously kind of a great influence. We would wait until the hour, like the Magic Hour, and then shoot scenes. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a bit of some people say Babble because of the kind of multi kind of tons of stories intersecting and kind of. But Babel has a kind of, the whole point of Babel is showing how one thing links everything, whereas our movie is kind of the opposite, which is it's a kind of, it just highlights the absurdity and kind of absurdity of coincidence. Basically, it's not one thing that kind of all of a sudden meshes all these stories together. It's quite the opposite, you know. But
So
yeah.
I've seen Days of Heaven. I think I've seen every Terrence Malick movie, but I haven't seen Babel, and I always thought it was called Babble.
It's Babel. I just call it Babel because it's kind of the way the Babel.
It sounds a little
I don't
bit
know.
more artistic when you say it like that.
Yeah,
Sure.
Babel. But you're right. It's Babel.
Okay. Okay. It was a long time ago, but my memory could have deceived me. But good to know. So you like Terrence Malick? Is he one of your favorite directors?
I mean, obviously, past 25, your influences kind of fade away, and you become your own filmmaker. So yeah,
Of course.
obviously, certain filmmakers kind of they basically just influence you a lot when you're young, and he was obviously one of them. A great influence.
Okay.
Perhaps
Cool.
too much.
Okay. Are you flattered, humbled, excited that this movie was played at TIFF this year?
Super happy, honored. I couldn't expect a better premiere. So I'm very happy that we played at the Lightbox One. It was great. The screening was impeccable. The team here, the curators, Cameron Bailey, great Steve Graystock. They're just a great kind of intellectuals of cinema, and they've obviously proven that this is one of the great venues in the world. So obviously very happy and super flattered. Yes.
When I think of a class act, I think of Cameron Bailey.
Yeah, for sure. He kind of he has a way of, I don't know, he thinks about cinema in so many levels that it's kind of very impressive to see how he deals with TIFF being obviously kind of a multifaceted kind of festival, and also handling COVID very well. You know, giving a great platform for filmmakers to still kind of show their movies and not feel that they're being lost in the winds of COVID.
Have you had a film play at TIFF before?
Yeah, my first film play, like I've had a short film and my first feature played here as well 10 years ago. So
Okay. That's great. That's cool. Okay, so I looked at the credits and I saw that you had a co-writer for this film.
yeah, my wife.
Your wife?
Sarah
Oh,
Michelle.
okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you write a script with your wife? Tell me about. Because I guess it would be different than you write a draft, then you send it off to somebody. You live with your wife. So, walk me through that. How do you write a script with your spouse?
I mean, she's also a cinematographer, so obviously there's a bit of a symbiosis going on there. But
Yeah.
I just kind of run with the first draft, and then she comes in and kind of changes everything. Then I complain, and then we keep some of the stuff. No, it's kind of very, very. We just kind of making a feature for us is basically doing just figuring out what we want to do and kind of enjoying ourselves. You know, you enter the candy shop, you come up with scenes that you've always wanted to shoot, and then you somehow make it into a movie. So there's a bit of that. So it's kind of fun. And it's very fluid, and there's no friction. It's actually an ideal situation.
Yeah, I was just wondering, at what, because it's your spouse, you can't slam your fist on the table about an artistic decision. How do you kind of keep things harmonious like that?
I mean, she's also she reads a lot of scripts as a cinematographer. She gets sent a lot of scripts.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a good gauge of, and she's done, I think, almost 14 features as a cinematographer. So she has a very good gauge of inner experience of what's worked, what hasn't worked. So she kind of trims the fat. Only one scene was cut from the movie, and I think part of that is her kind of great editorial skills.
Okay, so it is harmonious. It sounds very chill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of it's great. Actually, it's a great thing to be able to do, to work with your spouse, I think.
Yeah, I can imagine. How would you compare this movie thematically and otherwise with other ones you've made?
It's kind of different, as the first one was kind of a kind of growing up movie, kind of coming of age story,
Mm-hmm.
which tends to be the kind of the first films of first time filmmakers, I think. But there's the notion of language. There was my first film was like 50% Arabic. This one is 50% Mexican, I would say, almost, or Spanish. I mean, so there's a kind of this notion that I, as a first generation immigrant, I identify with movies with kind of foreign languages, just because when I was young, my reality was not just listening to French or English. It was kind of a much more diverse kind of experience. And yeah, the second movie is just a bit more ambitious. Not a bit, really ambitious. Kind of it wants to be many things. Whereas the first one is a bit more linear. But they definitely do share. The protagonists are both kind of male, and yeah, they're both in a quest, I guess.
Okay, well, Ivan, thank you very much for your time. I really enjoyed your film Drunken Birds yesterday. I'm just curious to know, before I let you go, what do you have planned next?
Yeah, we're developing another script, and hopefully will be just the first draft in December, maybe.
Fantastic.
We'll see. Yeah, that's it. Thanks so much, Michael.
We'll stay tuned. Be well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.